Blood Magic, Art and Story by Daniel Audet. Mazzy shoves all of her furniture into the corners of her basement suite. Magic works best with a clean environment and a clean mind. She smudges the room to make it safe. The morning light filters in through her tiny window, and Mazzy is plunged into the memory of her mother's kitchen. The smell of spices thickening the air, an enticing blend of hot cocoa and ghost peppers. As a young girl, she couldn't get enough spicy food, constantly requesting new and hotter dishes from her mom. It could always be hotter. The room is dead now. You can't return to a dead room. Her mom is dead too. Eating and sex are the only experiences Mazzy has found that fully harness the flow of all five senses. She prefers the latter. Food is expensive, and fucking is free. Using a cotton ball smeared with her own menstrual blood, Mazzy marks her face so that she is seen, and her body so that she is touched. She is naked save for stockings and her ruby slippers. Two big black dogs are watching her with their sad eyes, and she feels awkward about being held in their gaze. She tells them to lay down, and the animals obey. Mazzy wants to orgasm in a way never before experienced, to explode the light of her ghost across the universe. That delirious momentary loss of self beckons. Her fingers trace the curves of her body with the exquisite pleasure of hand-washing a rich woman's china. On a sheet of paper, Mazzy writes her desire in present tense. I fuck a demon. Next to this, she puddles a syrupy drop of her warm spit, so that she is tasted. Her fantasies are populated by a menagerie of demons, an orgy of feather, fur, skin, and scales. Glossy black horns, thick claws, and stone cocks. Mazzy favors one demon in particular. Dark orange scales and horns protrude from his back like malformed wings. His face a nightmare of teeth and bone. She calls him Mowgli. He fills her with just the tip of his savage organ, splits her in two. Final primal thrusts crack her open like an oyster to expose the creamy white inner flesh. Her fingers slide with hungry slurping sounds on her wet folds. Cadence increases, and suddenly the individual self shatters. Mazzy expels her orgasm in an animalistic wail so that she is heard. It might have been dark for hours. Mazzy has no memory of any passing time. She simply notices the darkness one moment, unsure if it was there before. It's working. The room now holds the lovely cool darkness of woods at night, or the still blackness of a cave. Her breathing quickens and her imagination lubricates. I should have locked the dogs up. They better not try and watch. Mazzy's knees pop with a clear, dry sound as she gets to her feet. In the desk drawer are the usual items, and she chooses a suitable tool. Mounting her desk, she imagines herself as a piece of sculpture on a plinth. Erotic sculpture, she thinks and nearly laughs. Mowgli is getting off on seeing her bleed. Full frontal nudity is simply bland. It could always be hotter. There is a pure momentum to her desire, a clear direction forward. Just keep moving towards the heat of pleasure in the present moment. The scissors are heavy in Mazzy's hand. They are very old, and she wonders where they even came from. Maybe her forgotten roommates, but such details are irrelevant. The scissors are in her hand. This detail matters. Their metal blades are thick and sharp. It matters that they are sharp. This is the price of her admission. The idea of so much blood makes Mazzy feel nauseous. She hates the sight of her own blood, the inner suddenly becoming the outer, like a betrayal. If she doesn't look, doesn't actually see the blood, then maybe she can keep her shit together. There will also be the pain and the smiles, because her and pain are old friends. Mazzy grips the blade of the scissors in her fist, and somewhere in her mind she is a child, drawing a line in the mud with a sharp stick. The tip of the blade leaves a ragged furrow in her chest. Blood flowers bloom, all in a row. The aroma of her copper bouquet permeates the darkness, so that she is scented. Abruptly, the room flashes from absolute darkness to a painful light. Mazzy swoons, the scissors fall, and she clings to the edge of the desk and the edge of consciousness with equal desperation. Her vision blurs as she tries to make out the shape of the demon before her. Is there anyone there? Anything there? The light scalds her eyes even when the lids are closed. She reaches up, her fingers wet with blood, and slips along the folds of her tightly closed eyelids. Her eyes are no longer the source of sight. Now she is seeing with her skin, and it is like attempting to drink in the entire light of the sun. Every pore on her body is a tiny mouth, their lips torn open as the flood of light forces its way inside. Mazzy moves off the desk and steps forward. Mowgli? She thinks of the little girl in her mother's kitchen, her life distilled into a series of rooms she can never return to, a parade of dead rooms. The hungry dogs lay next to the slowly spoiling meat for 3 days without eating any of the stuff that used to be a girl named Mazzy. They don't even lick up any of her blood.